And while our province and our country have many challenges yet to overcome, I do believe that Ontario's best days still lie ahead of us. And I say this confidently, knowing the principles that I hold dear, shared undoubtedly by the vast majority of folks here in this room, inspire hope that there is a brighter future. And now with the legislature resuming on Monday, I want to take the opportunity today to lay out the three key priorities that will be the focus for our team for the fall session as we seek a better way forward for Ontario. First, we will fight for the conditions that will allow for more private sector jobs, better jobs, and a stronger economy. Second, we will continue to provide the oversight of this government that Dalton McGuinty and his ministers have so obviously chosen not to exercise. And finally, we will fight to stop the HST, or the Dalton sales tax, as I like to call it, before it even begins. Quite simply, this kind of massive tax grab is never a good idea, and this is the worst possible time for an unaffordable tax hike on the items we need and use each and every day. The current economic challenges facing Ontario are causing problems throughout Canada and all over the world. I'm not going to stand here and lay the entire blame for the global recession at the feet of the Dalton McGuinty government. But when it comes to putting in place the conditions for a strong economic recovery, there are two critically important questions we have to ask Mr. McGuinty. Did you do your job to help us prepare for the tough times? And are you doing all you can and making smart decisions in order to ensure the swiftest possible recovery? So did Dalton McGuinty send our deficit and debt skyrocketing to historic proportions? Yes, he did. Did he impose burdensome new regulations? Yes. Did he drive up provincial program spending by 60%? Yes, he did. And did government spending increase by twice the rate of economic growth? Yes. And did Dalton McGuinty increase taxes on workers, on employers, on everybody? Yes, yes, and yes. And did the accumulation of these decisions, the tax more, spend more, regulate more, borrow more approach, leave Ontario overexposed and unprepared for when difficult times hit? Absolutely. Absolutely yes. The Liberal government didn't cause the flood, but they did nothing to waterproof the basement. Quite frankly, their corporate welfare approach of picking winners and losers in the marketplace is not one that I share. I believe it works directly, in fact, against the chances of a full economic recovery. Let me give you an example. In July, Dalton McGuinty defended giving a $263 million grant to a video game developer, Ubisoft, from France. Dalton McGuinty claimed it would create 800 jobs in 10 years. Friends, that's $330,000 a job. And for jobs that may not even be created for another decade. And if we apply that same number to the 330,000 lost manufacturing jobs, it would cost us $109 billion. It's approximately the size of the entire provincial budget to get us back to where we were when Dalton McGuinty came to power. It's hardly a recipe for success. And Ubisoft was just the start. Dalton McGuinty also promised a $10,000 rebate to subsidize the purchase of General Motors' yet-to-be-released Chevy Volt electric car. This on top of the $3 billion Ontario has already sunk into GM, and for a car that is not even made in Canada. Ontario deserves better. Getting Ontario back on track towards economic recovery means putting an end to government officials picking winners and losers. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the priorities that will be our focus in the coming weeks. We will fight to stop the DST before it begins. We will continue to provide the oversight on a government that increasingly disrespects your tax dollars. And we will insist that the McGuinty government takes action today to spur private sector job creation and economic growth. And as I said at the beginning of my speech, I believe Ontario's best days are still ahead of us. But that success is not guaranteed. Future jobs and future growth are not assured. Now, more than ever, Ontario needs a new direction. I grew up in a province that was the economic powerhouse of Confederation. My grandparents came to this province for just that fact. And with your help, and the help of Ontario families, my friends, we will make Ontario the leader in Confederation once again. Thank you very much for your attendance here today.